Okay, so here we are again for the part 2 of our discussion for ESci 114 laboratory exercise number 4, which is masses and springs. So we will proceed directly to our problem solving that we haven't discussed this morning. Okay, so but before we proceed with our discussion, please click the like button, subscribe, and the notification bell for updates. Okay, so this during my first video, the part 1, so we discussed that periodic motion is a motion which is repeating in equal intervals of time, assuming that there is no damping. So damping is kanang the um, process of decreasing or stopping the oscillation. So the period T is one complete cycle. So that is your period T. And the unit of T is in seconds. However, on the other hand, T is equal to the inverse of frequency, or frequency is the inverse of T, wherein your unit is second to the negative 1. For second, we can also write or second. For frequency, we can also write that as hertz. Okay, so the derivation of these formulas are found on your laboratory guide. Okay, so we'll proceed directly to our problem solving, because for your long exam on December 3, or I think we can also move your final exam on December 10. I will be giving you a lot of problem solving. So for our problem solving, I will be requiring everyone to follow the correct procedure in solving a problem. So first, we need to write what are the given, followed by the required, before writing your solution. Okay, so I have prepared here two problems. So the first one, a force of 60 Newton is required to stretch a spring a distance of 40 centimeters from its rest position. So what force is required to stretch the same spring twice the distance? So basically what are given here are the force and the displacement in centimeter. So from that alone, makabalo na ta nga the formula that we need to use is the Hooke's law formula, which is F is equal to negative K times X, wherein your F is the force, your K is your elasticity constant or spring constant, and your X is your displacement. So unit analysis, your force is in Newton, your spring constant is in Newton per meter, and your X or displacement is in Newton. So from that alone, we can nakabalota nga our units are in place. So going back here, however, even though we do not follow the correct procedure, no, writing the given, the required, and the solution, makabalota that just analyzing the question, we can know that knowing that the force is directly proportional to the displacement x, or the distance of stretch, since it is being mentioned here that we increase the distance x twice, so therefore our force is also increased twice or times 2. So from that alone, we can already compute for the force as equal to 60 Newton times 2, which is 30 2 Newton. However, for our long exam in physics laboratory, I would like to see on your answer sheets the following. So given, required, and solution, because I will be giving points for every component of your solution. So for example, the problem solving is worth 5 points. So I will give 1 point for the correct given, 1 point for the correct required, and 3 points for the solution. So sa given and required alone, you will already receive 2 points and 3 points for the solution. Complete and comprehensible solution. So what are our given? So we have F sub 1, for the first force here is 16 Newton, which is being displaced for a distance of 40 centimeters. So that is our X sub 1, 40 centimeter. And what is being asked? What force? So meaning, ang ikaduhang force, F sub 2, when our X. So napatay ko sa given nga X sub 2. You can use X prime or X bar, but for my solution right now, I will be using X sub 2. So X sub 2 is twice of X sub 1, which is we can already solve as twice times 40 centimeter equal to 80 centimeter. However, later on, we can analyze from the solution that even though this 40 centimeter is not given, ang atong solution later on can also be applied to all other similar problems wherein your distance of displacement x is not given. Okay, so continuing, so for case A, we may start by saying that for case 1, F sub 1 is equal to okay. Negative k times x sub 1. Okay? And for case 2, F sub 2 is equal to negative k times x sub 2. Okay, balik na dito sa case 1. From case 1, we can already solve for your spring constant k. Because kabalo naman ta sa f sub 1, kabalo na sa value sa x sub 1. However, I would like you to practice kaning manipulation of equation para ang atong final answer, dito na ta mag-substitute sa mga values sa atong final answer. So we can rewrite our equation 1 or equation for our case 1 as k is equal to, we divide both sides of the equation by k, so it will become negative f1 over x sub 1. And then, this value of k, mao ang atong substitute sa atong equation for case 2. So this will become negative, we substitute the value of k, negative f1 over x sub 1 times x sub 2. However, our x sub 2 is equal to 2x sub 1. So ako na ni ipadayon dire. So therefore, f sub 2 is equal to negative times negative, that is positive. So mawala ang atong negative sign. F sub 1 over x sub 1 times 2x sub 1. Naka-follow? Nakasunod ra? We can cancel x sub 1. Therefore, f sub 2 is equal to 2 times f sub 1. Since what we are looking for is f sub 2, so therefore we can just multiply here. Substitute na, no? 16 newtons sa atong equation. Therefore, f sub 2 is 32 Newton. So, put your final answer in a box and put answer. Check. Okay. Again, for your long exam sa atong for your final exam sa laboratory, I will require you to write the following: complete, given, required, and solution. Any questions, class? If you have questions, just write your questions in the comment box below, or you may email me through my email ad, or you may send me a message through my messenger. The second question which we will solve is this. So, mo to siyang atong mo siyang atong reasoning why we get 32 Newton. So as Robert Hooke said, ut tensio sic vis, so as the extension, so the force, meaning the extension or displacement. X is just proportional to the exerted force. Okay, for our second question, we have to choose between case A and case B. Which of the following mass spring systems will have the highest frequency of vibrations? So frequency, sa atong mga na-discuss during sa part 1 sa atong video, we already know that T is equal to 2 pi times square root of m divided by k. We also know that the inverse of frequency is your period. So therefore, from here, we can directly substitute the formula para masolve natin ang frequency, since what we are being asked here is frequency. So frequency is equal to what? 1 over 2 pi times square root of m over k. Yan. Again, we need to write first what are the given, the required, before writing our solution. So given we have for case A, your spring constant, we can write that as K sub A is equal to 300 Newton per meter. Mass sub A is equal to 200 grams. For case B, we have spring constant B, K sub B, 400 Newton per meter. And our mass sub B is equal to 200 grams. So what is required? So we have to choose between case A or case B, which of them has the higher frequency, higher ni siya higher. Therefore, we are required to solve for the frequency of A and B, and later decide which one is higher. Okay, for your solution, actually, kanis lang ang mga formula conversion, you can write them under the solution. No? Okay, sa atong formula nga na-come up, we have here the frequency is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi times square root of m over k. For case A, that is frequency sub A is equal to, okay, sige, we'll stop at this point, no? Okay. Actually, even though dili ta mo agi aning given required solution nga paagi, we can already identify which of those two cases will have the higher frequency. Nga naman, because we already know that frequency is inversely proportional to the period t. So therefore, kung we are looking for the higher frequency, it should have the lower period. Since ang atong given diri are the variables k and the mass m, sa atong formula m and k, Same ra sila og mass ang duha cases, tama? Ang nagkalahi lang nila is ang spring constant nga K. Mas dako og spring constant. If ang atong pangitaon is ang mas gamay nga period T, so meaning kinahanglan ang K nimo is mas dako. So ang mas dako nga spring constant will give us the lower period and will give us the higher frequency. So therefore, later on, ang case B ang ato kinahanglan nga mahimong answer. However, since this is physics, I will require you, since this is final exam, nasa atong physics, I will require you to do, to write the given first, the required before you write your solution. So, going back to my solution, for case A, our frequency is equal to 1 divided by 2 pi square root of m, sige, ato na i-kondaan si m. 200 grams divided by 300 Newton per meter. Okay. Most of the students will get confused and will just divide them directly without considering the units. However, we have already learned that 1 Newton is equal to 1 kilogram times meter per second squared. So therefore, if you will just, or if you will, kung dili na nimo i-apply sa imong computation or sa imong analysis ang units, mas safe na kadaan because ang iyang conversion is dili man into grams. So dili nimo ma-cancel si grams dire. Because ang Newton is, kung i-convert nimo, kilograman siya. So therefore, it is better to at your stage, no, since you are still young engineering students, you may opt to do this one. 2 pi, 1 divided by 2 pi times the square root of, okay, you may opt to convert 200 grams to kilogram. 0.2 kilogram divided by 300 Newton per meter. Okay, pwede na ito nga atong bungkagon ang unit nga Newton para makabalot ta unsa yung mga units nga atong pwede i-cancel out later on. So we have 300 kilogram meter per second squared per meter. So we can now cancel kilogram and meter. So ang mahabilin lang sa itong equation is per second squared. Nasa sulod siya sa square root na sign. So inigawas niya, that would be per second or second. Using your calculator, masolve na to that F sub A is equal to 6.164 per second. And this is also equivalent to 6.164 hertz. Doing the same procedure, we can also solve for F sub B. Di na lang nako isulat diri para naamoy buhaton sa inyo ha. This will become 7.118 following the same procedure that we did, hertz. And we compare which one of the two has the higher frequency. So that is case B. So therefore, case B will have the higher frequency. Therefore, okay, 3 dots. Therefore, and put your final answer in a box. And that's it. Any questions so far? If naa, please write your questions in the comment box or send an email to me or directly to my messenger account. Okay, that's all for my discussion this afternoon. Thank you so much and God bless. Bye-bye.